Part 12. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 111. After the waiter served Mr. Chen tea, he exited the door and closed the door gently. Zhang Chen turned around and looked at the door, thinking, while there was no one in the box, should he give the paper bag to Mr. Chen? Zhang Chen stole a glance at Mr. Chen. Mr. Chen not only looked very kind, but also seemed to be a very decent person. He had thick eyebrows and big eyes, a bit like the fat Zhu Shimao. When he spoke, he had a loud voice and a hearty laugh. He is the kind of person who makes people fall in love with him at first sight. Zhang Chen suddenly became nervous. He felt that if he gave him the money, he would probably scold him angrily and walk away, which would be embarrassing. Zhang Chen put his hands under the table and squeezed them. He felt that his palms were sweaty. At this time, he wished he were Lu Ligan. This guy seemed to be able to remain calm no matter whether the other party was a peerless hero or a treacherous villain. Dealt with it calmly, but myself, damn it, why can't I get on the stage like this? Zhang Chen couldn't help but look outside the door again. Mr. Chen thought Zhang Chen was checking whether Mr. Fu was here. He also looked at his watch and said to Zhang Chen, "Your uncle is too busy, haha. It's always like this. It's hard to arrange time for meetings." "No, it's easy." "Uncle." Zhang Chen was stunned for a moment, and then he understood that it must be Xiao Su or Mr. Fu who told Mr. Chen that Mr. Fu was his uncle. Of course, Mr. Fu would not tell Mr. Chen about his true relationship with Mr. Fu, but if Mr. Fu said that he was just a friend of the company and Mr. Fu personally came forward to sell such a big face, then people would definitely be suspicious and suspect that he was involved in it. Got a lot of benefits. It's different if they are relatives, and if they are like my uncle, Mr. Fu will be able to help him no matter what. If he has any harsh requirements for Mr. Chen, Mr. Chen will think it's normal because he is his uncle. The biggest advantage of saying he is an uncle is that Gu Shufang is also from Jiangsu and Zhejiang, so he can get along with Zhang Chen. If he is an uncle, then Zhang Chen must be from Hainan, and his surname must be Fu, even if Mr. Fu doesn't show it. It's too like, but in fact, he has taken into consideration even such details. That's right, it happens to be expanding, so there are a lot of miscellaneous things, Zhang Chen said quickly. Is Ms. Fu the elder sister or younger sister of Mr. Zhang's mother? Sister, Zhang Chen said. According to Gu Shufang's age, she is indeed much younger than her mother. Dear. Yes, there are 3 sisters, and my mother is the eldest. What Zhang Chen said was not a lie. His mother did have 3 sisters, and she was indeed the eldest. However, none of her sisters was Gu Shufang. Zhang Chen looked back and saw that the waiter was still standing outside the door. The door was still closed. Zhang Chen was worried. He wanted to go to hell. Anyway, if he extended his head with a knife, he would also cut his head with a knife. Or he could send him out now. It didn't matter whether he was dead or alive, he stood up after thinking about it. He suddenly remembered that Xiao Su had told him to remember to give it to him when he sent Mr. Chen to the car. Zhang Chen was stunned for a moment, and could only pretend to go outside to see if Mr. Fu was here. He opened the door and asked the waiter in a low voice, "Has Mr. Fu come yet?" The waiter shook his head. Zhang Chen left the door open, walked back and sat down, secretly relieved, and secretly glad that he finally didn't have to worry about this now. Let's talk about it later. Zhang Chen felt a lot of cold sweat not only on his palms, but also on his back. Damn it, I didn't expect money to be such a tormenting thing. Zhang Chen and Mr. Chen said, "I'm sorry for keeping Mr. Chen waiting for so long." Mr. Fu, "Oh, my uncle must have been delayed by something." Mr. Chen waved his hand, it's okay, I'm used to it." As soon as Mr. Chen finished speaking, there was a burst of "Hello, Mr. Fu," in the corridor. Mr. Chen stood up and said with a smile, the busy man is finally here. Mr. Qin and Zhang Chen walked to the door, and Mr. Fu happened to come in. He laughed when he saw Mr. Qin, and the two shook hands warmly. The waiter came in and served Mr. Fu tea, then immediately left and closed the door. I'm sorry, Lao Tan, that person just now, Director Luo of the planning department, was sitting with me and couldn't get off, Mr. Fu said. Then why not together, Mr. Qin said. They are in another box with some friends from Beijing, Mr. Fu said. Mr. Qin understood and nodded. How is it? Are things going smoothly next time, Mr. Fu asked Zhang Chen. I was busy today and didn't even go down to take a look. Zhang Chen hurriedly said, thanks to Mr. Qin's help, everything went smoothly. The walls and work sheds have been erected. In half a day tomorrow, the scaffolding will be erected. The mixers and formwork are also in place. I have arranged for people to be on duty at the construction site at night. Really, so fast? Then why don't you thank Mr. Qin, Mr. Fu said. Zhang Chen quickly said thank you, Mr. Qin. Mr. Qin waved his hand, you're welcome, Lao Fu, your business is not my business. Besides, your Wanghai building expansion is a key government project. We don't support anyone. Okay, with your words, Lao Qin, I feel relieved, Mr. Fu said with a smile. My nephew is young and has just arrived on the island. He doesn't understand many things. Mr. Qin, you need to give me more advice. Anyway, I just came in and was shocked when I saw Mr. Zhang. He is really young and promising. Mr. Qin also smiled. Little sister, Mr. Fu called, and the waiter outside the door quickly came in. Why don't you pour wine and serve the food? Mr. Fu asked. The waiter knew in his heart that all the things that should be discussed here with Mr. Fu have been discussed, and they can come in to serve. The waiter called at the door, and the supervisor and foreman who had been waiting in the corridor hurried in and served them personally. The waiter hurriedly ran over to inform the kitchen that Mr. Fu's food was ready to be served. The three of them ate until about 9 o'clock. During this period, they did not talk about the project anymore. Most of the time, Mr. Fu and Mr. Qin were talking. Zhang Chen listened silently. They chatted about this and that. They were all acquaintances, both praised and criticized, and most of them spoke in Hainan Esset. Zhang Chen was standing nearby, so confused that he had no idea what they were talking about. Mr. Fu asked Mr. Qin, did you eat well today? Mr. Qin patted his belly and laughed, it's almost full. Mr. Fu stood up and said to Mr. Qin, how about we do this first? Mr. Qin said yes. Mr. Fu said that I still have something to do in the office and asked Xiao Zhang to send you off. Mr. Qin smiled and said, Lao Fu, we too, why are you so polite? If you don't want to send anything away, I can just go down by myself. Mr. Fu said how could this be done and asked Xiao Zhang to deliver it. Mr. Fu turned around and said to Zhang Chen, Mr. Qin has been so helpful, you can send Mr. Qin off for me. Zhang Chen said he understood, this is what he should do. The waiter came in, took out the paper bag from the cupboard, and handed it to Zhang Chen. The three of them walked to the elevator to say goodbye. Mr. Fu went up, and Mr. Zhang Chen and Mr. Qin went down. Zhang Chen saw Mr. Qin off to the parking lot. Zhang Chen was uneasy all the way. Yes, he was thinking about what he should say when he handed the paper bag to Mr. Qin later, and what he should say if Mr. Qin refused. The two of them walked to Mr. Qin's car. Mr. Qin opened the door. It was too late if Zhang Chen didn't say anything. He mustered up the courage and said, Mr. Qin, thank you for what happened today. This is just a small thing. Zhang Chen felt that when he spoke, his mouth was dry, his voice was dry, his heart was in his throat, his face was burning, and his mind was blank. If Mr. Qin refused, Zhang Chen could only act like an idiot. He stood there dumbfounded, speechless. Unexpectedly, Mr. Qin just smiled softly. Why should Mr. Zhang be so polite when he talked about trivial matters? He took the paper bag from Zhang Chen's hand with his right hand, patted Zhang Chen's shoulder with his left hand, and said to him, "Thank you, you have my phone number. If anything happens next time, just call me directly. Don't bother me, your uncle." After Mr. Chen finished speaking, he put the paper bag on the passenger seat, got in the car and left. He didn't forget to roll down the window and waved goodbye to Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen stood there and let out a long breath. It turned out that what he thought was difficult and complicated turned out to be so simple. Zhang Chen stood in the dimly lit parking lot and looked up at the sky. He felt that he had suddenly matured a lot. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 112. Zhang Chen returned home. He saw the lights in the office were on. Looking through the open door, he saw Gu Shufang sitting there, seemingly reading a book. Zhang Chen took a shower by himself, sat in the room and smoked a cigarette, then walked out of the room and saw Gu Shufang still sitting there. Zhang Chen walked into the office and sat down at his desk. Gu Shufang didn't even look back. Zhang Chen saw that what she was reading was still the stories of the Sahara and felt strange that it was so thin. Do you need to read a book for so long, or do you need to memorize it? For those books on decoration, Gu Shufang used a pair of blue iron bookcases to stand between their two desks. Zhang Chen took out the Decoration Engineering Construction Manual from the bookshelf and opened it. Regarding the civil construction part, I took out my notebook from the drawer and started jotting it down. Zhang Chen had never done civil engineering systematically before, so he had to start by learning the proportions of various concretes, the markings of rebar and wire rods, and the uses and differences of each marking. Gu Shufang was sitting across from her. It was impossible for Zhang Chen not to pay attention to her. He discovered a problem, that is, Gu Shufang rarely turned the pages of the book. After turning a page, she stopped turning it for 5, 6, or 10 minutes. Although her eyes were still on the book, Zhang Chen felt that she couldn't be reading. For such a long time, those words are just numbers, and I can count them several times. Zhang Chen felt that this book was more like a prop, covering up her meditation or reverie. Zhang Chen couldn't help but shook his head secretly. "Sent out." A voice suddenly rang out. The office was too quiet. Zhang Chen was startled, and then he realized that it was Gu Shufang who was talking. Was she talking to herself? Zhang Chen looked at Gu Shufang, who was still reading the book. Zhang Chen wondered if it was just his hallucination. He lowered his head and read again. Gu Shufang asked again. "Sent out." "What?" Zhang Chen asked puzzledly. "Didn't you go to send money today?" Gu Shufang didn't look up and just continued to ask. Only then did Zhang Chen understand that she also knew what happened today. Zhang Chen said and said he would send it out. Gu Shufang sneered, "These people make so much money." Zhang Chen almost laughed out loud, "It's so damn difficult for you to make money. I hide in this house every day, existing like a ghost, while I work hard outside to make money for you." Gu Shufang opened the drawer, took out a payment form, and pushed it over, "Fill it out." Zhang Chen looked at her in confusion and did not go to get the payment form. Gu Shufang raised her head and said to Zhang Chen coldly, "The internal account needs to be used, and you don't want the project to end. I have a sum of money here, are you confused?" Zhang Chen thought to himself that there was some truth in this. He took the payment form and filled in his name, amount, and date. The bottom column of the payment form was the purpose. Zhang Chen asked, "Do I need to write down the purpose?" Gu Shufang said sarcastically, "Can the dog-beating buns come back? Do you think the money will come back? If you don't write down the purpose, the money will always be on your head." Zhang Chen nodded and cursed in his mind, "Damn, why can't you say nice things properly?" In the purpose column, he wrote "Send to Mr. Chen, the first construction of the city." After filling out the payment form, Zhang Chen was about to give it to Gu Shufang when he thought of something. He asked, "Have you known about sending money for a long time? The money is coming from me, do you think I won't know?" Zhang Chen was a little annoyed. He thought, "It turns out that you all have known for a long time. Just like those contracts, you only need me when you have to sign it. You don't want to tell me this until you give it away." "Why didn't you tell me earlier?" Zhang Chen asked. "Do you think I should tell you? Or do you think that whether or not this money should be sent, and how much should be sent, should be obtained from you first?" Gu Shufang hit a nail in the coffin for Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen was at a loss for words, and Gu Shufang sneered, "Then you should talk to him, not me. You should tell him that you are the only one who has the right to make decisions in this company, and all the money coming in and out should be yours. A pen checks everything." Gu Shufang said as she closed the book, stood up, pushed the chair under the table, straightened it, turned around and walked out. Zhang Chen looked at her back and felt that he could see her sneering all the time. Zhang Chen was stunned. He felt that there was an unknown fire that he couldn't release, and he didn't know who to direct it at. As the general manager, he really has to decide everything by himself. He feels that it is difficult to do anything. Apart from other things, it is really impossible to do the road closure today based on his own ability. Everything that Mr. Fu decides, there is nothing wrong with it, and it is indeed implemented by oneself. Including Gu Shufang, although she looked down on herself from the bottom of her heart, all her actions never exceeded the boundaries. Isn't this what she asked her to do? But why the hum are all these things put together so uncomfortable? Zhang Chen felt that this book could not be read any longer. Although he was very full, he decided to go to Lu Ligan and eat salted fish and eggplant stew and garlic water spinach. He grabbed Lu Ligan. After a while, Lu Ligan Li Zhang called back, and Zhang Chen asked him where he was. "It's a small shop, where the hell could I be? The dog meat was half eaten in front of me, so the chief called two ding-dongs to come over and eat together. I used the restroom and escaped back," Lu Ligan said. Zhang Chen laughed loudly. "He said that I came over for a late-night snack and asked for eggplant stew and water spinach." Lu Ligan said, "Why, are you shocked?" Zhang Chen asked curiously, "How do you know?" "I'm not shocked. You just ate a meal worth several thousand yuan, and here you are eating shitty water spinach," Lu Ligan scolded. "Tell me, what's the matter?" Zhang Chen said it again, "But it seems to be very complicated." Lu Ligan said, "Yes, then I won't go home and will light up first." Zhang Chen went downstairs and walked out of the alley. A peng-peng car happened to pass by. Zhang Chen quickly stopped him. He didn't bother to go to Wang Heilu to pick up the motorcycle and directly asked the peng-peng car to take him to Binya village. Zhang Chen arrived at the food stall and saw Lu Ligan already eating alone. Lu Ligan said, "If you didn't call me, I would come here to eat, and I wasn't even full for dinner." Zhang Chen laughed to death, knowing what kind of drama Lu Ligan was. "Don't laugh, tell your story," Lu Ligan said. Zhang Chen told Lu Ligan exactly what happened today, including his phone call to Jin Lily. Lu Ligan said, "Pass Jin Lily, what she said is right. Just listen to her well. As for what this old witch did, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing for you." "Oh, why do you say that?" Zhang Chen asked. "This old witch, it's better to carry it cleanly than to make a confused account. Do you think that when the project starts, how much money will be put in and out every day? If she can check it, won't it save you a lot of work? Although, she is subjective for herself. Being objective to others. How to say? She is not only guarding against you, she is also guarding against Fu. To her, the most terrifying thing is that you and Fu wear the same pants, keep her in the dark, shift things around, and finally transfer all her money. She is gone, so she must be awake at all times. She is not telling you anything now because she is testing you." "Test me? Test what? What the hell do I have to test?" Zhang Chen said with a smile. To test whether you have told her the truth, you are right. She has been observing you to see if you are someone she can win over. To her, you are harmless and what she really wants to guard against. Still with the surname Fu. People are a family. Do you think they are still a family? Lu Ligan looked at Zhang Chen and asked. Zhang Chen feels that this question is difficult to answer. From Gu Shufang's attitude towards Mr. Fu, it can be described as a stranger, but who knows the real situation? They didn't seem to speak much to each other, but if they had nothing to say, how could Mr. Fu ask Gu Shufang to prepare the 100,000 yuan and convince her that the 100,000 yuan must be given away? 100,000 is not a small number. From Gu Shufang's point of view, she is definitely not willing to pay this amount. There is a natural gap between Hainanese and mainlanders. I can guarantee that their daughter must have been this old witch who insisted not to let her come to Hainan. I can also guarantee that when she heard that you were from Zhejiang and not just another Hainanese, she recognized it from the bottom of her heart. I can also guarantee that as long as you continue like this, act a little stupid in front of her, and make her let down her guard, you will be in the same trench. You promise, are you the humming tapeworm in her stomach? Zhang Chen cursed. He looked up at the shop and saw that the ghost who was singing and playing billiards was not here today. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 113. Today is Saturday, and Jin Lily is not here. The three people from his company have all gone to Beijing to celebrate the Chinese New Year. They will come here to pay New Year greetings to all the relatives who should come to visit, and then they will fly back to Beijing and need to report to the investors. Because there would be some financial issues involved, Mr. Xia asked Jin Lily to go with him. Jin Lily said that this report is very important. After Hainan's economic downturn, the company's performance declined sharply. Everyone has a headache and is very pessimistic. They don't know what else can be done in Hainan. If the report is not satisfactory, the investors will most likely ask to withdraw their investment, or simply dissolve Hainan Bata Industrial Co., Ltd. Zhang Chen, then I will be unemployed. Jin Lily almost cried when she talked to Zhang Chen on the phone. Zhang Chen quickly comforted him, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. There is nothing to be afraid of now. I can live and eat here, and I can support you. Jin Lily burst into tears and smiled, okay, I like hearing this, then I will rely on you. Zhang Chen smiled and said, you have relied on me for several years, haven't you? Get out, Jin Lily giggled and hung up the phone while cursing. Li Yong and Chen Qiang are back. Years ago, Zhang Chen didn't let Lu Ligan tell them that he was going to Wanghai Tower because he hadn't officially started work yet. Today, Chen Qiang called Lu Ligan, and Lu Ligan said I told Chen Qiang about this, and when he heard it, Qiang shouted, it's great, we must celebrate it. They made an appointment to have hot pot at 10 o'clock tonight. Lu Ligan hasn't gone to wash the building in the past few days. The new year has just passed and everyone's minds are not yet focused on work. If you go there, it will only make people feel bored. Lu Ligan held a shoebox of business cards every day and called people one by one to wish them a happy new year. Unexpectedly, he got an unexpected harvest. Some people were eager to recruit workers after the new year. Lu Ligan called and just received this business. Lu Ligan was either at his newspaper office or at Zhang Chen's place all day long, holding a phone in his arms. Anyway, it only took 10 minutes to ride from Longbipo to Zhang Chen's place. Before the 15th day, Zhang Chen's place had started work ahead of schedule. The people from the muddy water team and the handyman team were recruited first, and other people were found in time while they were working. Zhang Chen looked at the space that was separated in front of the door and wondered how such a large open space could be used. In just a few days, it was filled with all kinds of building materials. From the river, from sand to gravel, from steel to red bricks, as well as construction formwork and wheelbarrows, piles were piled here and there, quickly filling up the site. Zhang Chen stood at the door of the office and looked at everything in front of him, like a general, looking at the well-constructed fortifications, and he felt a sense of pride. He looked to the right, near the Agricultural Bank of China, and saw 2 work sheds. Look to the left, the gate leading to Wuzishan Road, where cars are coming in and out, and it is very busy. Looking at it, Zhang Chen opened his eyes wide. He saw 2 people appearing at the gate. One was Lin Zhao, and the other was Gu Shufang. Although it was still winter, even the sun at noon was not bright. It was hot, but Lin Zhao still held an umbrella for Gu Shufang. From such a distance, Zhang Chen could see Xiao Lin's grimace. Zhang Chen understood that Gu Shufang wanted to protect her unreal white skin. She also held a handkerchief in her hand and wiped it on her face from time to time. Zhang Chen felt strange that Gu Shufang could actually leave her humble house and go to this messy construction site. What was she doing here? As soon as these 2 people with strange behavior appeared at the construction site, they quickly attracted people's attention. Everyone turned to look at them. Zhang Chen saw many employees of Wanghai Tower passing by them, also looking at them. It could be seen from their expressions that they didn't know who this strange woman was. Gu Shufang had obviously made careful preparations to come here. On her feet, she wore a pair of Jifang shoes that had been washed white, and no one was wearing them anymore. She didn't know where she found them. These shoes didn't match her fashionable clothes or her whole person at all. They looked so artificial and abrupt. She walked carefully on tiptoe in the venue as if dancing. She first walked to a pile of rebar and asked Xiaolin to lift off the plastic sheet covering it. She squatted down, looked at it carefully, and he counted with his fingers one by one, then took out a piece of paper and a calculator from the bag he was carrying, and started counting. Zhang Chen suddenly realized, what the hell, this is a knock on the door. She took the inventory list made by the material manager and came to make a surprise inspection of the inventory. This inventory list is what Zhang Chen brings back every day when he goes back to do her accounting. They then walked to the neatly stacked round rods, and Gu Shufang started counting again. Then, they stood in front of the sand and red bricks. These things could not be counted or counted. Gu Shufang seemed to be very distressed. She kept looking at the inventory list in her hand and then at the things in front of her, thinking for a long time. There was nothing we could do in the end. Gu Shufang asked Lin Zhao something. Lin Zhao pointed to the shed where cement and other things were piled. The 2 people walked towards that side. They saw Zhang Chen. Gu Shufang showed no expression. Lin Zhao stood behind her, shook his head helplessly towards Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen looked at them coldly, not even bothering to say hello. When he saw them entering the work shed, he turned back to the office. About half an hour later, Gu Shufang walked into the office, and Xiao Lin followed her. Zhang Chen sat there, looking at her indifferently, saying nothing. Gu Shufang walked to the desk opposite Zhang Chen. She looked at the table. The ashtray on the table was almost full of cigarette butts. There were white cigarette ashes everywhere on the dark red table. Gu Shufang frowned. Brows, she looked at the chair and frowned again, not even daring to stretch out her fingers to wipe them. Xiao Lin walked around the room, mumbling, looking for a rag, when Zhang Chen called out, behind the door. Xiao Lin took the rag from behind the door and wiped it on the table. Unexpectedly, the table became even dirtier and the cigarette ashes flew up. Gu Shufang quickly took 2 steps back, fanning her face with her hands. Xiao Lin was at a loss for words. He was stunned for a moment before he thought that he should go to the faucet first and wet the rag. He quickly walked out. Gu Shufang and Zhang Chen were the only 2 people left in the office. Gu Shufang stood there angrily and stared at Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen felt angry and funny in his heart. He said, "Accountant Gu, this office is not as civilized as Dong, people from all walks of life are here, so I won't invite you to sit down. If you want anything, you can tell me." Gu Shufang shook the inventory list in her hand and said to Zhang Chen, "I am free today, so I came over to check the inventory. I think you should know that it is also my responsibility to take inventory." Zhang Chen nodded. He said yes. "Have you finished the inspection?" Took a preliminary look. "What is the problem?" "Problem? Huh, there are problems everywhere. You really don't know until you see them," Gu Shufang said, dissatisfied. Zhang Chen said oh and asked, "Tell me, what are the problems?" "Let's talk about steel first. I asked the material manager and he admitted that these materials were not weighed when they came in," Gu Shufang said. "It's true, we don't have that condition," Zhang Chen said, "but did he tell you that every time he came in, he had carefully counted them and marked them with red paint on the steel he counted?" "Of course I have counted. What's the use? Steel is measured by weight." "Can we count the weight?" Gu Shufang said. "Where did Accountant Gu work as an accountant before?" Zhang Chen asked. "Hotel." Zhang Chen laughed. "No wonder, does Accountant Gu know that all the steel rolling mills in our country produce according to the theoretical weight unified by the country?" "What's the meaning?" "This means that, for example, the theoretical weight of 16-inch rebar is 1.58 kilograms per meter stipulated by the state. A rebar with a fixed length of 12 meters is 18.96 kilograms per rod, and 106 rods per bundle. The theoretical weight of such a bundle is 2010 kilogram, the nominal weight is 2 tons, which is the pricing weight sold to us. The material manager only needs to count how many bundles are pulled each time, and he will know how much rebar is delivered. As for the wire rods, you see, if you look carefully, each bundle has a material nameplate, which is clearly recorded. It contains the manufacturer, production date, and weight, and it was also weighed when it was pulled out from the metal warehouse, and there will be a weighing sheet. Can you understand what I say?" Zhang Chen finished speaking in one breath. Gu Shufang pursed her lips and blushed on her fair face. She wiped the sweat from her forehead with a handkerchief. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Niang. Chapter 114. Xiao Lin came back with a rag. He wiped the table and chairs with the rag. The rag had just been washed with water. After wiping, the table and chairs were wet, and it was impossible to sit on them. Gu Shufang kept looking at Xiao Lin, and she didn't know. Reminding him that Xiao Lin knew that he was wrong as soon as he finished wiping, so he still dared to look at her, Gu Shufang cursed impatiently. "You can't do anything well if you go out, it's true." Xiao Lin quickly slipped out. Zhang Chen stood up and said to Gu Shufang, "Accountant Gu, you can either sit here with me." Gu Shufang ignored him. She had just lost face, but she was still unwilling to accept it. She asked, "Then have your sand and bricks been accepted?" Zhang Chen smiled and said, "Of course I checked and accepted it when I entered the venue." "Right here." "Right here." "How do you check for acceptance here?" Gu Shufang asked. She felt that Zhang Chen must be lying. "There are so many sand and bricks, and there is no weighing scale here. How do you check for acceptance?" "It's very simple. The sand is originally bought by the cubic meter. When it comes here, of course it is measured and accepted," Zhang Chen said with a smile. How to measure? Gu Shufang was reluctant. Zhang Chen felt that Gu Shufang at this time was very similar to the chef who asked himself whether to use light soy sauce or dark soy sauce to steam fish during his interview. Zhang Chen was secretly amused, but he explained patiently. He could see that Gu Shufang was a little angry. To an angry person, you have a big quarrel with him, which is exactly what he wants, and he can just scream, yelling to cover up one's own grievances. On the other hand, if you hold the attitude of let him be strong when he is strong, the breeze will blow on the mountains, let him be horizontal when he is horizontal, the bright moon will shine on the river. He will be cruel to himself, and he will be evil, and I will be full of energy. Showing himself in front of his own stupidity would choke him to death. This is not complicated. Accountant Gu is such a smart person. I think as long as I explain it, you will understand it right away. Zhang Chen deliberately slowed down his speech and continued, after a batch of sand comes in, we will find a flat place. It just so happens that the original Daying Road is very flat. We will pile the sand into a neat trapezoid. This, in our jargon, it's called making a square. After making a square, use a measuring tape to measure its length, width, and height. It's easy to get the cubic number, right? Gu Shufang's face turned from red to white, and she felt uncomfortable all over. Zhang Chen looked at her with interest. In the daytime, her skin looked really good, and there was no trace of the skin of a woman in her 40s. If she were to paint it herself, Zhang Chen thought, she would add some vermilion to the white, and a little more. Bright yellow is not enough, nor is it white enough. You need to add a little bit of ultramarine to show the coolness of white. Gu Shufang bit her lip, and when she spoke again, it was close to being arrogant. She said, why do they have to be piled up in a trapezoid shape, not a rectangle? Zhang Chen burst into laughter and said, sister, I also want to pile the sand into a rectangle, but how can I pile the sand into a rectangle without it collapsing? Please teach me. Gu Shufang probably felt that her statement was too ridiculous. When she saw Zhang Chen smiling, she couldn't help but smile, but the smile was fleeting. What about the red bricks? How do you count the red bricks? When Gu Shufang asked again, her tone softened and she seemed to be asking for advice. Do you count them piece by piece? Zhang Chen stopped his smile and said to her, no, this is called quantitative palletizing in our terminology. It is usually a group of 4 bricks, stacked horizontally and vertically, to create a stack of 400 bricks, and then follow the same pattern one by one. Just pile up piles of the same size. When they are all piled up, multiply the number of piles by 400 and you will get the total. That's really smart, Gu Shufang said. I did not invent this, it is the experience summed up by the working people in practice, Zhang Chen said. I didn't praise you for being smart either, Gu Shufang said and smiled again. Zhang Chen didn't know if this was what Lu Ligan said about letting down his guard, but he felt that Gu Shufang seemed to soften a lot and was no longer so aggressive. She asked some more questions about other materials, and then walked to the door. He called out, Xiaolin. Xiaolin ran over quickly, and Gu Shufang said, send me back. Xiaolin quickly opened the umbrella, and Zhang Chen shouted, Accountant Gu, go slowly. Gu Shufang ignored him, and Zhang Chen said, welcome to come often. Gu Shufang suddenly turned around, her eyes like a knife across Zhang Chen's face. She sneered, really? Do you want me to come here often? Zhang Chen smiled and said, of course, if you have any questions, come and see for yourself, so I don't have to go back and explain to you. Gu Shufang said nothing, turned and left. Zhang Chen looked at their backs and suddenly sympathized with Xiaolin. He thought that the return rate of this trip was high enough. If he walked a few more times, Xiaolin would become a celebrity on Boa South Road. The BB phone in Zhang Chen's waist rang. Zhang Chen looked at it and saw, Miss Ning wants you to pick up Xiao Zhao at the airport at 9:30 p.m. The operator at the information desk couldn't figure out Zhao and Zhao. It seemed that Xiao Ning arrived in Haikao before Xiao Zhao. Maybe it was Xiao Su or Mr. Fu who picked her up. When Xiao Zhao arrived, Zhang Chen felt his heartbeat speed up, and he quickly scolded himself again. In the evening, Lu Ligan arrived. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan went to eat pig's feet rice together. After the meal, Zhang Chen asked Lu Ligan whether he should go to Wenming East or Wanghai Tower. Lu Ligan said, go to Wanghai Tower, that old witch, I get angry just looking at it. Zhang Chen laughed loudly and said that he didn't expect that you, Lu Ligan, would be afraid of anyone. Am I afraid of her? Lu Ligan shouted. If you're not afraid, why don't you dare to go? I think it's bad luck, you know. Okay, no explanation, let's listen to the explanation next time, Zhang Chen said with a smile. If she breaks down, she'll break down. Next time, I'll cut her into pieces, Lu Ligan cursed. When the two people were talking, they had already walked back. They returned to the Wang Heilu office and sat and chatted. Zhang Chen also felt that it was more comfortable to stay here, at least he could smoke freely. The two of them had just finished smoking a cigarette when Jianqiang appeared at the door. Zhang Chen shouted, Jianqiang is rare, long time no see. In fact, it only took a week for Zhang Chen to move from Yilan's house. However, Zhang Chen felt that this week was really too long. There were changes every day and things happened every day. Jianqiang chuckled and said, I have been here twice and you were not here, but we finally met today. Zhang Chen understood that it was night when Jianqiang and the others came to Wanghai Tower. He came to see him at this time, and of course he was not there. Jianqiang sat for more than half an hour, and the BB machine in his waist rang. Jianqiang and Zhang Chen said, Brother Zhang Chen, can I call you back? Zhang Chen pointed to the phone on the table and said, make a call by the way. Jianqiang went back and saw that the call was from a regular customer. Jianqiang asked Zhang Chen if he had paper and pen. Zhang Chen took paper and pen from the drawer to him. Jianqiang answered the phone while writing crookedly on the paper. After hanging up the phone, Jianqiang immediately called Jia. Jia didn't call back after 10 minutes. Jianqiang told them that she was busy now. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan both found it funny but were embarrassed to laugh. They all understand what Jia is busy with now. This singer is on stage right now, singing loudly. After another 5 or 6 minutes, Jia called back. Jianqiang looked at the piece of paper and said to Jia, I'm at Brother Zhang Chen's place. You can go directly to Guo's Hang 603. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan looked at each other and said in their hearts, what the hell, this is an assembly line operation. Seeing that it was past 9 o'clock, Zhang Chen decided to pick up Xiao Zhao. He told Lu Ligan, you and Jianqiang are here, I have something to do. By the way, you can go directly to Daying Road to meet Chen Qiang later. They meet and I might be late. Lu Ligan thought to himself that if Zhang Chen had something to do at this time, he must go to Mr. Fu upstairs, so he told him, go ahead. I will close the door when we leave later. Zhang Chen went to the parking lot of Wanghai building in front and rode his motorcycle to the airport. It only took a few minutes. When he arrived at the exit, the small place was already crowded with people picking up passengers. Next to the exit, there was a board hanging with paper that was changed from time to time. The message Xiao Ning sent him did not mention the flight. Zhang Chen squeezed into the crowd and saw a plane from Chengdu, which was around 8 o'clock. There is another trip at 10 o'clock, and at 9:30, there is only one trip from that direction from Chongqing. Zhang Chen thought to himself that Xiao Zhao must have come on this plane. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 115. Zhang Chen stood behind the crowd picking up the plane. He didn't want to squeeze in and let Xiao Zhao see that he seemed to be in a hurry. But when the airport loudspeaker announced that the Chongqing plane had arrived, 10 minutes later, a large number of people came out of the exit. At that moment, Zhang Chen couldn't help but stood up on tiptoes and searched eagerly among the crowd. Zhang Chen didn't see Xiao Zhao until the last person left. He asked the airport staff guarding the exit if all the guests from Chongqing had left. The staff stepped back a few steps, looked inside, and then walked back to Zhang Chen and told Zhang Chen that they must have gone out and all the luggage was gone. At that moment, Zhang Chen felt extremely frustrated. He thought, did Xiao Ning get the date wrong, or would Xiao Zhao take the 10 o'clock flight from Chengdu? Zhang Chen felt empty and dying in his heart. Zhang Chen became alert. He felt like he was dating Jin Lily a long time ago and Jin Lily didn't show up. Could it be that, damn, you can't even sleep with you? You haven't slept yet, but you've fallen in love with her? Zhang Chen shook his head. He thought it was impossible. If I fell in love with her, there would be too many opportunities to hold her in my arms, but I wouldn't have any. But if not, why did you come to pick her up? Just as friends? What kind of friends are you? Even if they are friends, why are you sad if she doesn't arrive? Zhang Chen thought this way, and the more he thought about it, the worse his mood became. He remembered that in the days before the Spring Festival, Lu Ligan was waiting here for Tan Shahan every day. Was it the same? Did he see a plane coming from Guangzhou every time? At that time, there were no direct flights from Hangzhou to Haikan. It took a day by long-distance bus from Yongcheng to Shanghai. If Tan Shahan came, the only possibility was to go from Yongcheng to Hangzhou. When you arrive in Hangzhou, and then transfer from Hangzhou to Guangzhou, you will squeeze in, stand in the first row, and stand on tiptoe to look into the crowd. Looking forward to it, Zhang Chen thought of this word. Although he didn't squeeze into the crowd like Lu Ligan, he was outside, so wasn't he also looking forward to it? Isn't the mood still the same? What if what I was waiting for at this moment was Jin Lily? Alas, Jin Lily didn't need to wait by herself. They had their own car and parked it at the airport. After getting off the car, they went to the parking lot. Even if they said they were coming to pick her up, Jin Lily would say, "Get lost, don't be hypocritical." Although Zhang Chen knew both Mr. Xia and Lao Bao, Zhang Chen had a vague feeling that Jin Lily didn't want to see Zhang Chen when he was with people from the company. Zhang Chen sighed. Someone pulled his clothes. From such a distance, Zhang Chen seemed to be able to feel those soft hands and the cool fragrance. Zhang Chen turned around, and sure enough, it was Xiao Zhao standing behind him, with a smile on his face. Smiling, her eyes were a little red. Before Zhang Chen could react, his hands had already grabbed her in his arms. Then reason told him that he couldn't do this, and he quickly let go of Xiao Zhao, but Xiao Zhao was already crying. She turned around in a hurry and wiped her tears with her hands. Turning around again, their eyes met. Zhang Chen chuckled, "When did you come out? Why didn't I see you?" Xiao Zhao said with a smile, "I arrived a long time ago, around 8 o'clock. I didn't buy a ticket from Chongqing. I came from Chengdu. Just now, I fell asleep sitting there. Then why didn't you go back?" Xiao Ning made a mistake. She thought I would come from Chongqing. I got off the plane and called her. She said you would pick me up at 9:30, so I was waiting here. I didn't even tell Xiao Ning that I would come to pick you up, and I just received a message from her." Xiao Zhao smiled and said, "Xiao Ning said you would definitely come." Zhang Chen blushed. Xiao Zhao looked at him, pursed his lips and smiled. Zhang Chen quickly said, "Let's go." Zhang Chen tied Xiao Zhao's luggage to the back of the motorcycle, leaving a little space for Xiao Zhao. Xiao Zhao squeezed in between Zhang Chen and the luggage, her body pressed against Zhang Chen, and the luggage behind her pressed against her back. Although it was no longer necessary, she still hugged Zhang Chen's waist and pressed her face tightly against his back. When they arrived at the hotel, it was already past 10 o'clock. The hotel lights were still on and there were many cars at the door. Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao carried their luggage and walked up from the house. When they arrived at the door, Xiao Zhao was about to knock on the door. Zhang Chen held her hand. He didn't dare to see the door open. He didn't know what was inside. What kind of scene, who would he see? The two of them stood in the darkness. Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao said, "I have to leave. A few friends are waiting for me to eat hot pot." "Where was it last time?" Xiao Zhao asked. Zhang Chen said, Xiao Zhao almost blurted out that "I want to go too, but he held back the words and cursed in his heart, "Who are you? How could you let your friend see that he is with you?" In the darkness, Xiao Zhao's face turned gray, and she nodded, "Okay." There was an obvious hint of disappointment in his voice. Zhang Chen heard this disappointment, and he said cruelly, "Then I'm leaving." He turned around and hurried downstairs. In the darkness, tears flowed down Xiao Zhao's cheeks. She heard Zhang Chen's footsteps reaching the bottom of the building. She thought he would come back. She waited in the darkness, and then heard the sound of a motorcycle starting. The motorcycle paused for a moment when it came down from the sidewalk to the road, and then suddenly drove away. Xiao Zhao knew that Zhang Chen would not come back. Xiao Zhao suddenly felt weak all over. She sat down on the stairs and cried. She really regretted it. When Zhang Chen hugged her suddenly at the airport, she was stunned. Before she could react, Zhang Chen let go of her before she could hug Zhang Chen too. If I had hugged him back then and not let go, would Zhang Chen still leave now? Xiao Zhao cried and thought. Zhang Chen was speeding along the provincial capital road. He felt that the soft hands on his waist were still there, and there was someone pressing against his back. Zhang Chen increased the accelerator. He wanted to hear the scream and gurgling behind him. Laughter. But there was nothing behind him, only the wind hugging him, making him gradually wake up. He parked the car in the Wang Haler parking lot, got out of the car, turned on the BB player, and saw a message from Lu Ligan, "We are at Shancheng Hotpot." They blocked the road from Wanghai Tower to Daying Road. To get there, you have to walk a section of Haixia Road, then turn to Airport Road, and then go around to Daying Road, which is about the same distance as returning to Wenming East Road. Zhang Chen thought for a while and went out through the back door of the mall. When he arrived at his construction site, he looked at his office door and walked towards the middle of the two work sheds. From a distance, he could hear a group of people in the work sheds. There was the sound of people playing cards. Someone saw Zhang Chen on the road and shouted, "Mr. Zhang, who are you looking for?" Zhang Chen said, "I am not looking for anyone." The man looked at Zhang Chen's back and muttered in his heart, "Why are you here if you're not looking for someone?" Zhang Chen passed the door of the work shed, hesitated for a moment, and then walked in. Inside the work shed, there was a passage in the middle, with moso bamboo and bamboo rafts tied into two large pavilions on both sides, with straw mats lined up on them. Zhang Chen saw a dozen people crowded on the bunk on the right, playing cards under a dim light. Some were sitting and some were standing. The heads of the standing people were almost reaching the ceiling, blocking the already dim light. Darker. When someone standing saw Zhang Chen come in, he pushed his knee against the person sitting in front of him playing cards, and shouted, "Mr. Zhang." Everyone turned around and saw Zhang Chen. Those sitting there panicked and reached out to grab the money in front of them. Zhang Chen smiled, "It's okay, you guys have fun. When I was in the troupe, we would sleep in a bunkhouse like this when we went out to perform, and we would also play cards and gamble at night. Remember, we still slept on the floor." "Mr. Zhang, were you in a theater troupe before?" someone asked. "Yes," Zhang Chen said. "Those actresses sleep on the floor like you?" someone asked. "Of course I sleep on the floor, with a man on one side and a woman on the other, with a piece of cloth in the middle," Zhang Chen said with a smile. "Is there anyone who crawled over there in the middle of the night?" someone asked, and others burst into laughter. "Have." Zhang Chen answered honestly that Lu Ligan often did this kind of thing. When everyone else was asleep, he would sneak into Tan Shahen's bed, especially in winter. He said that Tan Shahen was afraid of the cold, so he went to cover her with the bed sheet. One time, blindly, he got into the wrong bed and got into Su Jianmi's bed next to him. Su Jianmi screamed and woke up the whole group. "That's much better than us. We can't even smell the fishy smell here," someone shouted, and everyone laughed again. Zhang Chen looked to the side and asked, "Is there anyone else?" They went to watch the sex video, someone answered. Zhang Chen said, okay, then you can continue playing, I will leave first, and those people said goodbye to Mr. Zhang. Zhang Chen walked out of the workshed and saw pieces of moso bamboo more than 1 meter high piled under the wall that blocked Daying Road. Zhang Chen climbed up and stood up. On the other side of the wall, there was a whole street of dazzling lights. And the loud voice pounced upon him, nearly knocking him down. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 116. Zhang Chen jumped off the partition wall and entered the world of Hot Pot. Zhang Chen walked and searched for it. After passing 20 or 30 stores, he found Shancheng Hot Pot. He saw Lu Ligan and Li Yong. Sitting at the innermost table, Li Yong also saw him, stood up and waved to him. Zhang Chen walked over and saw Lin Yiyan and Lu Yun coming. As soon as Zhang Chen sat down, Chen Qiang shouted, Zhang Chen, give me your business card. I want Mr. Zhang's business card. Zhang Chen took out his business card and gave it to Chen Qiang. Others also asked for it, so he gave one to each of them. Li Yong took Zhang Chen's business card and said with a smile, this is convenient. I don't need to detain you in the future, I can just call you. That's right, I'll be here at 5:30 every day. I'm the honorary vice president, Lu Ligan said. Li Yong patted Chen Qiang on the shoulder and shouted, this is a serious vice president. He will take up his post next Monday. Lu Yun quickly raised her cup, then I congratulate you too. Everyone raised their glasses and drank it all. Are you almost here? Lin Yiyan asked Lu Yun. What's so fast? Lu Yun asked curiously. Your golf club has opened. Don't you, the boss, have to go back to catch fish? You are not the only one here, Lin Yiyan said. I don't know if I can survive, Lu Yun shook her head. If we can't survive, your boss will have to go back to catch fish. Otherwise, how can we fill the golf club's shortfall? Lu Ligan said, no matter how bad the economy is, at least people will still have to eat fish. Damn it, I have such a good golf course, but all you guys say smells like fish, Chen Qiang said, and everyone laughed. Zhang Chen, how are you? Li Yong asked, I heard that you went directly to Haibassian. It's hard to put it into words, Zhang Chen said with a bitter smile. He is both a beautiful girl and an old witch, Lu Ligan shouted, and it was too late for Zhang Chen to stop him. After Lu Ligan finished speaking, he realized that he had spoken too quickly. He immediately told Lin Yiyan and Lu Yun, Mei Jiao Niang, you can't tell Jin Lily even if you kill her. Do you understand? Lu Yun smiled and said, I can't even say it even if I want to kill you, but if I'm bribed, I might say it, unless you bribe me too. Okay, what do you want? Lu Ligan asked. I want to hear you, hey 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 hey. As soon as Lu Yun said this, everyone else burst into laughter. Fortunately, they all turned their heads quickly. Lu Ligan also laughed. He agreed that after dinner, it would still be Daowen Hotel. Today you can't steal Li Yong. Li Yong smiled and said, okay, I won't rob you. I'll book a box. Is that okay at 12 o'clock? Everyone said yes. Li Yong went into the shop, came back after making the phone call and sat down, then asked, Zanzi, I was only halfway through what I said, what happened to the beautiful girl and the old witch? Lu Ligan looked at Zhang Chen and asked, can I say it? Zhang Chen smiled and said, we are all our own people. You can talk as much as you like. If you hold back, you will be suffocated to death. Lu Ligan told them about Zhang Chen's weekly work meal. Li Yong's eyes widened. So, was he really shocked? Zhang Chen smiled and said, it's not that exaggerated. The pole is projecting the lover of my dreams. Lu Yun smiled and said, it sounds like the spring and autumn style of writing to me. What a soft hand, no one has soft hands. What a cool fragrance, the fragrance can also cool down the body temperature. It's unfair. Zhang Chen told me this. Also, you from the Chinese department of Peking University don't know that there are people whose hands are not soft, Lu Ligan said. Who, you say? Lu Yun asked. Captain Hawk in Peter Pan. Lu Ligan said, is his iron hook soft? Lu Yun smiled and said, okay, you win. Lin Yiyan also became interested and asked Zhang Chen, how does she compare with Jin Lily? Zhang Chen shook his head. He said there was no comparison, they were completely different types. I'm still more interested in that old witch, please tell me about the pole, Chen Qiang said. Li Yong glanced at him, are you Lin Yiyan over there? Lu Yun smiled and said, I think so. Lin Yiyan said, right, you all know the real him, I was the only one who was deceived by him. Everyone laughed again. Speak to that old witch quickly, Chen Qiang said. Lu Ligan told them about Gu Shufang again, and everyone was surprised. Zhang Chen told them that it was even more funny today because she actually came to the construction site to check. Zhang Chen told them what happened today. After hearing this, Lu Ligan shouted, I didn't expect that there would be such a story before I came. This plot is good, I will write it into a novel in the future. Lin Yiyan looked at Zhang Chen with a bitter face and said, I sympathize with you, Zhang Chen, how will you live in the future, as if you have to be guarded against thieves every day. Zhang Chen blurted out, he is strong, let him be strong, the breeze blows on the hills, he is horizontal, the bright moon shines on the river. He is cruel, he is evil, I am full of energy. Chen Qiang and Li Yong clapped their hands, this is good, this is good. Lu Ligan also said, yes, this Nine Yang manual is a song of righteousness, and it sounds similar to resisting corrosion. When they finished eating at 11:50, they hurriedly asked the younger sister to pay the bill. This time, no one competed with Zhang Chen, and Zhang Chen paid the bill. They arrived at Daowen Hotel. As soon as they entered the private room, Mommy followed them in. When she saw Lin Yiyan and Lu Yun, she left without asking. Li Yong and Lu Ligan looked at each other, feeling inexplicable. Lu Yun and Lin Yiyan laughed. Li Yong scolded, isn't this discriminating against us? Thinking that we are not worthy of a little sister. Lin Yiyan smiled and said, don't you have your sister next to you? The little girl here can't compare to your sister. Lu Ligan stood up and said, no, today we are going to start quitting. There are two old friends of mine here, I will go find them. He stood up and walked out. The people in the box looked at each other in confusion. Is this Lu Ligan still an old friend here? They all looked at Zhang Chen, who shook his head and said, I don't know either. I've never heard him say it. After a while, Lu Ligan came back, followed by two beauties. As soon as these two beauties came in, they shouted to Zhang Chen, brother Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen was startled, and after looking carefully, he recognized that they were Wen Wen and Qian Qian. However, their makeup and appearance at work were different from usual, so Zhang Chen did not recognize them at first glance. Zhang Chen asked curiously, why are you here? Wen Wen told him that they had just arrived here not long ago, and today was their third day at work. Zhang Chen understood. No wonder Lu Ligan knew about it. Lu Ligan told them that Wen Wen would accompany me and Qian Qian would accompany Zhang Chen. In this way, we would both have female companions today. Qian Qian shouted, I don't dare. Sister Lily will kill me if she knows. Not only a few men, but also Lu Yun and Lin Yiyan also laughed. Lu Ligan turned his head and looked around, shouting, that's it, Qian Qian, you go accompany that fat brother, Lu Yun, you sit on Zhang Chen's side. Lu Yun stood up generously. She said yes, I am not afraid of being chopped by Jin Lily, and I will sit with Zhang Chen. Everyone laughed. They sang until about 4 o'clock before they ended up going home. After taking a shower, they lay on the bed. Jiang Chen felt that he was exhausted from playing that night. He was very sleepy but couldn't fall asleep. Jiang Chen was inexplicable and suddenly fell asleep. He felt that he missed Xiao Zhao very much. He remembered the moment when he turned around and left in the dark, and he saw tears flashing in Xiao Zhao's eyes. If he had it to do over again now, Jiang Chen felt that he would not leave Xiao Zhao in the dark corridor like that. Jiang Chen really wanted to go see Xiao Zhao now, but he knew that this was impossible. The Xiao Zhao he knew was only within that specific time, and the room he knew was only within that specific time. That way, besides that, he didn't know what the room would be like or what kind of people would be there. He didn't even know if there would be other people around Xiao Zhao right now. Thinking that there might be other people around Xiao Zhao, especially when it was possible that he was Mr. Fu, Jiang Chen couldn't sleep even more. He got up and walked into the office opposite. He saw the Decoration Engineering Management manual on his desk. The strange thing was that there seemed to be a note in the book. He picked it up and read it. It was written by Gu Shufang. Her handwriting is very beautiful. The methods you said are all correct. Jiang Chen looked at the place where she put the note. It happened to be the chapter of material acceptance. It seemed that she had made up for it when she came back. She left the note to tell him that I knew all this. Jiang Chen smiled, crumpled the note into a ball, and was about to throw it into the waste basket. He thought that Gu Shufang might look at it when he came. It was too dazzling. There was no need to stimulate her like this, so he stuffed it into his pocket and waited. I'll go back to the room, light it and throw it in the ashtray. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Niang. Chapter 117. Jiang Chen really wanted to see Xiao Zhao. Why he wanted to see her so much, Jiang Chen himself couldn't explain clearly. However, Mr. Fu never informed him to go there. He had agreed to go there once a week, but it has been 2 weeks and there has been no movement. Maybe it was because the construction site was going too smoothly. If Mr. Fu doesn't call, Jiang Chen can't go to that hotel, nor can he go to Xiao Zhao's place. He thinks that Xiao Zhao can't come out either. After all, there is Xiao Ning by his side. In comparison, Xiao Ning is Mr. Fu's permanent fixture. Lover, you don't know what Xiao Ning will say to Mr. Fu when the two of them are together. Jiang Chen's BB number must have been given to Xiao Ning by Mr. Fu. He himself never told the two of them his BB number. His intuition told him that Mr. Fu would be disgusted with doing this. Xiao Ning knew his BB number, but Jiang Chen didn't know whether Xiao Ning had told Xiao Zhao. Anyway, Xiao Zhao had never detained him. Moreover, it could be seen that even if Mr. Fu had left the house, only when Xiao Ning was alone, Xiao Zhao was still very careful. Jiang Chen looked at the BB machine and sighed softly. At noon, Lu Ligan came. He had already started washing the building again. After washing nearby at noon, he came over to have a meal. They found that the staff canteen in Wanghai building was very good, and the food was cheap and delicious. As long as Lu Ligan had maybe, he would come here to eat. He said that this canteen was much better than the shabby canteen in their newspaper office. The canteen is in the basement of Wanghai Mall. Employees of Wanghai Mall, Wanghai International Hotel and Wanghai Restaurant eat here. There are many people, and there is not enough space. It is very crowded. Jiang Chen and Lu Lepol took bowls and prepared meals. Go back to Jiang Chen's office to eat. Is Lily coming back today? Lu Ligan asked. Jiang Chen was startled, and then he realized. Yes, Jin Lily had called him a few days ago and said she was coming back today, but how could he have forgotten this? In the past 2 humming days, I have missed Xiao Zhao more than Jin Lily. Moreover, when I knew that Jin Lily was coming back today, why didn't I feel any joy at all? It was completely different from knowing that Xiao Zhao was coming. It was over. Jiang Chen felt like he was breaking out in a cold sweat. He felt that during this period, he was completely deceiving himself. Lu Ligan glanced at him and asked, "What's wrong with you?" Jiang Chen quickly shook his head, "It's nothing." Lu Ligan smiled softly, "When you say it's nothing, it must be something, and the situation is serious, otherwise you would have told me." Jiang Chen scolded, What's wrong with me, and the situation is serious?" Lu Ligan sat at the table opposite Jiang Chen. He put down the chopsticks in his hand, looked at Jiang Chen, and asked, "Is that beautiful girl back?" Jiang Chen panicked for a moment, but said, "After the Chinese New Year, I only had dinner with Mr. Fu once, and we ate upstairs here. How did I know? You haven't seen her." "I've never been there, how could I see it?" No. Lu Ligan shook his head and said, "I think something is wrong with you during this period. You are in a daze. I think that beautiful girl must be back, and you have already met her." "No. Real. Real. Okay, I don't care if you are real or fake." Lu Ligan sighed, "There is something I must tell you, this beautiful girl, you can play for fun, but don't take it seriously. There will be endless troubles." "Holy shit, why am I serious?" Jiang Chen shouted. Lu Li took 2 bites, finished the rice in the bowl, and then stacked the vegetable bowl into the rice bowl. He raised his head, looked at Jiang Chen and said, "Even I can see that, do you think Lily is an idiot? Don't playing with fire, at the critical moment, it is better to tie the knot as the chief said." Jiang Chen was stunned. He was frightened by Lu Ligan's words. He didn't know where he was in a trance. If even Lu Ligan could see it, she would definitely be able to see that Lily was back. Although he didn't do anything, Jiang Chen had to admit that his mind wandered. Lu Ligan was right, Lily was not an idiot. Lu Ligan stood up, pushed the 2 bowls over, and said, "If you wash the dishes, it will be considered as tutoring fees for Teacher Lu. Teacher Lu is going to continue looking for pies." Jiang Chen glared at Lu Ligan, grabbed the cup on the table, and poured the water over. Lu Ligan had been prepared for this, and escaped out the door with a smile without being splashed. Jiang Chen picked up the 4 bowls, went to the faucet outside to wash them, returned to the office, put the bowls in the cabinet, and walked out. He followed the scaffolding that formed 2 slopes back and forth to the roof of Wanghai Mall. The construction team from Guangzhou has arrived. They do not live on the construction site, but arrange their own accommodation outside. Jiang Chen walked to the top of the building and saw where they were in the secret room. They built a partition wall with wooden boards and installed a door on the partition wall. When people walked away, the door was locked. During the construction period, the door was closed, and other workers were not allowed to enter. Jiang Chen opened the door and walked in. Everyone inside knew Jiang Chen. A man named Manager Pan who was leading the team came over immediately when he saw Jiang Chen. He told Jiang Chen that they were giving the entire team a visit today. The ground should be waterproofed. Jiang Chen said, "Yes, if you need anything, just tell me." Manager Pan quickly said, "Thank you, thank you." Jiang Chen walked out of the compartment, looked elsewhere, and then went down. Jiang Chen was surprised when he walked into the office. He saw Jin Lily in his office, with her travel bag on his desk. Jin Lily was sitting on his seat, closing her eyes to relax. Jiang Chen tiptoed over, walked behind Jin Lily, and patted her shoulder. Jin Lily screamed "Ah!", opened her eyes and saw Jiang Chen, jumped up, and jumped to Jiang Chen. On Chen's back, Jiang Chen quickly caught her and shouted, "Come down quickly, this is the unit." No, tell me first, do you miss me?" Jiang Chen quickly said, "I think about it." "How much do you think?" "Want it so much." "How much do you really want it?" "I just really want it." "You're a shameless person, don't go back." Jiang Chen smiled and said, "Okay, it's like thinking about stomachache." Jin Lili bit him on the neck. Jiang Chen yelled ouch. Jin Lili cursed, idiot, I think it's heartache, stomachache is hunger. Jiang Chen laughed loudly. Jin Lili got off Jiang Chen's back and said to Jiang Chen, let's go. Jiang Chen asked curiously, where to go? Go home, Mr. Xia gave me leave today. On the way back to the airport, they dropped me off here. I haven't been to where you live yet, Jin Lili shouted. Jiang Chen took Jin Lili back to Wenming East Road on his motorcycle. As soon as he entered the room, Jin Lili shouted, great, Lu Lili was finally gone, so he didn't need to give him 5 sets of billiards. Jiang Chen laughed and cursed, rogue. Jin Lili glared at him, if you're not a gangster, don't touch me. Okay, I won't touch it, Jiang Chen said and went to hug Jin Lili. Jin Lili bent down and slipped away. She said, go and have a look at your office. Jiang Chen caught up with her, and the two of them entered the office opposite hand in hand. Jin Lili shouted, please tell me which desk is Mr. Zhang's desk. Jiang Chen pointed to his desk. Jin Lili sat down, opened all the drawers one by one, and then closed them. When she raised her head, she exclaimed oops and quickly stood up. Jiang Chen looked back and saw that at some point, Gu Shufang had already gone downstairs and walked into the office. She stood there, looking up and down, looking at Jin Lili coldly. Jin Lili turned slightly, her back to Gu Shufang, her mouth opened and closed without making any sound. Jiang Chen could tell from the shape of her mouth that she was asking, old witch? Jiang Chen quickly introduced them to them. He told Jin Lili, Lili, this is Accountant Gu. When he turned to Gu Shufang again, he found that she was not looking at him at all, but was staring at Jin Lili coldly. Jiang Chen knew the lethality of this look, so he said bravely, Accountant Gu, this is my girlfriend. Jin Lili, she also works in finance. Jin Lili took a few steps closer to Gu Shufang and stretched out her hand, hello, Sister Gu. Gu Shufang looked at Jin Lili's outstretched hand, and then at Jin Lili. She did not stretch out her hand, but nodded slightly, and then walked to her desk. Jin Lili felt embarrassed and held out her hand. She raised her fist and when Gu Shufang walked past her, she couldn't help but stick out her tongue at her back. Jiang Chen quickly pulled her back to his room. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 118. Damn, this old witch, Jiang Chen, have you seen how she looks at me? Back in the room, Jin Lili cursed in a low voice, that look, damn, it's like I'm a ding boom. Jiang Chen quickly said, she treats everyone like this. When the Pole first came, she classified him as a mess. Jin Lili sighed, this kind of woman is rare and unparalleled in the country. No wonder my husband wants to find another woman. Okay, don't talk about her anymore. How are you doing this time? Jiang Chen asked. After passing the risk, the investors finally did not decide to withdraw their capital and agreed to increase their investment. Jin Lili smiled. How is it possible, in such a bad economic environment? Jiang Chen asked curiously. I thought it was impossible, but even after I did it, 10 million yuan has already arrived, Jin Lili said. Ah, Jiang Chen was surprised. Isn't it amazing? Jin Lili couldn't help laughing, this is the first time I discovered that Mr. Xia's eloquence is so good. Those people were stunned by his tricks. What did he say? He compiled a hotel project in Sanya. In fact, the hotel had nothing to do with us at all. It was owned by Chen Ming. Where the unfinished parts were, Mr. Xia insisted on saying that we were going to develop it ourselves and described it. The bright future was so talkative that Lao Bao and I could hear it even from the sidelines. Jin Lili said, I didn't expect those people to believe it. Is there still this matter? Yeah, I'm surprised too, but Mr. Xia is sitting there. Jiang Chen, you have never seen that scene. You are calm and unfazed. You speak plausibly. Lao Bao and I almost believe that we really have such a project. No wonder they believe it. Just like that, just say a few words and get 10 million, Zhang Chen asked. Jin Lily said, yes, I also asked Mr. Xia about this question. Mr. Xia said that it is not their personal money, it is public money, and public money, as long as you can give them a sufficient reason, let them just transfer the money, and if the money is transferred, these people can personally benefit. Who wouldn't do it? Lu Ligan sighed secretly in his heart. He thought that people like Mr. Fu and Mr. Qin were a few exceptions, but he didn't expect that there were many people who did this. Zhang Chen felt that if he stayed in Yongcheng, he would always think that, opening the back door to give gifts is already a big deal, but I didn't expect that in this world, there are still hundreds and tens of millions of money that people would dare to move blatantly. Zhang Chen felt that the complexity of this world had exceeded his own imagination, a young man who came from a ravine. What if they come to Hainan for on-the-spot investigation? Then they won't expose their secrets, Zhang Chen asked doubtfully. Mr. Xia said that people are so eager to withdraw money because they want to get their own share. So what if they come to Hainan? This afternoon, Mr. Xia will go to Chenming to discuss acquisitions or cooperation. Everything has been decided by the time they fly to Hainan, and there will always be a road leading to their destination, Mr. Xia said. Then what if people find out that this hotel is not ready for development, but an unfinished project? Then make additional investments, and everyone will get another round of benefits. Think about it, the previous money has already gone into their pockets, and maybe they have all spent it. Who will withdraw the money? Besides, money is something you collect. There is no way to retreat, and your retreat will be in vain. Mr. Xia said that at that time, they will only be more anxious than us and do everything possible to help us get through. Mr. Just try to make up various reasons so that they can make a steady stream of money. Jin Lily sighed, looked at Zhang Chen, and said with a sad face, Zhang Chen, this trip is an eye-opener for me. I think we are all too honest. There are thousands of ways to make money. Hummus, you chose the hardest one, but now you have finally come out, you must seize this opportunity, do you understand? Zhang Chen nodded. Although Jin Lily's words made him feel a little uncomfortable, he vaguely felt that after experiencing these things and seeing so much, he could no longer go back. He was no longer the Yongcheng Wu troupe. The proud poor artist actually wants to change and integrate into the society, even if it means crawling underground like a mole. Isn't it true for Lu Ligan? Isn't it true for Jin Lily, Chen Qiang, and Lu Yun? Isn't it true for Jia Jia and Ji Unqiang? Everyone is working hard to change themselves and not to be left behind by this whizzing world. As for everything else, it may be the price that must be paid for growth. We were in Beijing. Mr. Xia said something to us. I think it was of great benefit. Zhang Chen, you should also remember it, Jin Lily said. What words? Mr. If the problem is not solved, all your efforts will be in vain, Jin Lily said. Zhang Chen, do you think this makes sense? It turns out that everything is human-made, and there is still such an explanation. Well, Zhang Chen feels that this statement is indeed reasonable, just like solving Mr. Qin will solve the problem of city-first construction, solving Mr. Fu will solve Wanghai Tower, and solving Mr. Tan's problem. He lost his comrade in arms, and the two sides were at war with each other. Wouldn't they immediately become like a family? Zhang Chen nodded. The BB machine in Zhang Chen's waist beeped. Zhang Chen looked at it and saw that it was from the construction site. It said that the marble for the floor had arrived. Zhang Chen understood that what arrived today was the marble used in the secret room. There during the rush period, other places have not been used yet. I'm going to the construction site. Are you coming with me or staying here? Zhang Chen asked Jin Lily. Here, I want to have a good sleep. I got up too early in the morning. On the plane, there was another child behind me who kept crying and couldn't fall asleep, Jin Lily said. Zhang Chen said, okay, then you can go to sleep. In the evening, Zhuangzi and I will call you. Let's go eat coconut chicken hot pot. This hot pot is good. Zhang Chen was in a hurry and helped Jin Lily make the bed, and then asked Jin Lily if she wanted to wash her feet and I'll get you some water. Jin Lily looked at him and scolded, "Why are you washing your feet during the day?" "No, Zhang Chen, you are being courteous for nothing. Did you do something while I was away to make you feel guilty?" Zhang Chen was startled. When Jin Lily said this, he realized that he did have the intention to please her, and he did have a guilty conscience, which was all caused by Lu Ligan's words. Zhang Chen pretended to smile playfully, and said, "I did it, and you found out. We went to sing again, and each of us took a woman with us. I also took him with me." "Really?" Jin Lily sat up straight and looked at Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen said seriously, "You also know this woman?" "Who?" Jin Lily became alert. "Lu Yun." Jin Lily breathed a sigh of relief and cursed, "I thought it was Jia Jia," and said, "What's wrong with you?" Zhang Chen told Jin Lily what happened that night. When Jin Lily heard Qian say, "Sister Lily will chop me to death," she couldn't help but giggle. After laughing, Jin Lily asked, "By the way, Zhang Chen, girls from Peking University, do they smell good?" Zhang Chen nodded honestly, "It smells good." Jin Lily pointed her finger at him and said, "To be honest, Lu Yun is sitting on the side, have you ever had any evil thoughts?" Zhang Chen pretended to be serious and said, "I want to move, but I'm afraid Sister Lily will chop me to death." After Zhang Chen finished speaking, he ran out of the door, followed by Jin Lily's crisp laughter. Zhang Chen escaped out the door. He saw Gu Shufang standing at the stairs on the third floor, staring here. When Zhang Chen came out, she turned her eyes to the patio below, pretending that she had been staring at the patio. Zhang Chen was too lazy to pay attention to her. He closed the door to his room and walked downstairs. Riding on the road, Zhang Chen was thinking that if he hadn't been looking for him on the construction site, he would probably have stayed in the room again. According to their previous habits, they should be eager to exercise, even if it was in broad daylight. Two people would be exhausted and sleepy. When they woke up, it was almost dark outside. Zhang Chen felt that Gu Shufang was standing there, waiting for something like this to happen, and then she would write it down in a small notebook, or quickly tell Mr. Fu about it through her secret channels, and tell him, I found a good guy." He didn't stare at the construction site in broad daylight. Instead, he slept with the woman at home. Huh, you guys are really the same. Zhang Chen felt that Gu Shufang would definitely do this. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 119. When Zhang Chen arrived at the construction site, Boss Lin was already waiting for him in the office. There were still cigarettes and wine on the table. When he saw Zhang Chen, he told him that he should have come to wish you a happy new year a long time ago, thinking that he had to deliver the goods today anyway. Just came in one trip. Zhang Chen scolded, "You just deliver the goods, and you bring these with you. How can I inspect your goods? Just check it as you want. If the goods are not good, come here." Boss Lin chuckled, "Just smash these things in my face." Zhang Chen said nothing. He walked out and saw a truck unloading goods in front of the work shed. This time, Boss Lin sent sesame black marble to pave the floor in the secret room. Sesame black marble is cheap and not prone to defects. Zhang Chen walked over and took a look. The quality of this batch of stone was indeed good. Boss Lin asked, "How about this batch of things? Are they worthy of the price?" Zhang Chen said, "This is the first batch. Don't worry, every batch will be like this in the future. I didn't take a break during the Spring Festival. I went to the mainland by myself. I went to the production place and the importer to explain clearly to them. They also know that this project is important. Hearing what Boss Lin said, Zhang Chen laughed and said, I really want to thank you. Not long after Boss Lin left, Manager Pen came. He took a list and gave it to Zhang Chen. He told Zhang Chen that these things would arrive tomorrow. Xiao Su, Assistant Su, said that he would let Mr. Zhang personally inspect and accept it. After the inspection is completed, my people will move upstairs instead of putting them in the warehouse below. Zhang Chen took a look and saw that it was filled with densely written pages, including refrigeration equipment, heating equipment, humidification and fresh air dehumidification equipment, oxygen meters, temperature controllers, etc. Zhang Chen understood that this secret room has constant temperature and humidity. It must be used to store some precious cultural relics. The climate in Hainan is humid and there is enough salt in the air. Especially in summer, autumn, and typhoon season, even the pillows will grow hair, and the mats on the bed will become hairy in a day. If you don't wipe it with warm water, it will feel sticky and uncomfortable when you lie on it. Such climate conditions are certainly not good for cultural relics. Zhang Chen was curious about what kind of treasures Mr. Fu had collected, and why he had to spend such a high price to protect them. Manager Pen was still standing there, waiting for Zhang Chen's reply. Zhang Chen nodded and told Manager Pen that I would be here tomorrow. When your goods arrive, just call me here. In the evening, Lu Ligan came. Zhang Chen told him that Lily was here. Lu Ligan looked around, where is she? Why didn't I see her when I came in? Sleep in my room, Zhang Chen said. A little separation is better than a newlywed, but you hummed me right away, Lu Ligan shouted. You, the old witch is monitoring you, how dare I? No way, she even cares about this, Lu Ligan's eyes widened. Zhang Chen smiled and said, I don't care, I don't know, but Lily said that when she looked at her, it was like looking at Ding Dong. Lu Ligan laughed. Let's go. It's almost time for Lily to get up now. Let's pick her up and have coconut chicken hot pot. Zhang Chen stood up and said to Lu Ligan. Where's the coconut chicken? Lu Ligan asked. We were there last time, across from Little Wife Soup. Is there something wrong with you? Lu Ligan shouted, where are you taking Lily? Didn't you also say that the chicken is delicious? Zhang Chen asked strangely. Chicken is delicious, but have you ever thought about those chicken eaters? Damn, there are tables around them, either prostitutes or ding-dongs. Where did you take Lily? Zhang Chen, you are so awesome. As soon as Lu Ligan said that, Zhang Chen also woke up. It was really inappropriate to take Jin Lily to that environment. If nothing else, damn you, just the lewd men around you looked at Jin Lily with such lustful eyes. The look is also disgusting. Zhang Chen scratched his head and said that I had forgotten this, so let's go eat Dong Yang. You didn't forget, you just lost your mind, Lu Ligan scolded. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan returned home. The door was open, but there was no one inside. Looking back, Jin Lily was in the office, sitting on Zhang Chen's seat. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan walked over and saw Jin Lily. Lily is reading a book, and what she is reading is Scarecrow's Notes by San Mao. Where is she? Lu Lepole pointed to the seat opposite Gu Shufang and asked Jin Lily. I drove him away, Jin Lily said. Oh, tell me, how did you get away? Lu Ligan and Zhang Chen were both interested. It's very simple. She sat here, and I came over and sat down without saying a word to her. She was reading the story of the Sahara, so I went back to the room and took the Scarecrow's notes from my bag. I came over to see what she wanted to say, but I ignored her and hummed Red Dust while reading, but she stood up and left on her own. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan couldn't help laughing, and they both laughed. Lu Ligan raised his thumb and said, Jin Lily is the best, the old witch has met her match. No matter what, I want to sing a good match deceived me, causing my sister to lose her soul to her. It's a pity that I'm not Tan Shahen, otherwise I guarantee that I will burst into tears when I sing, Jin Lily said. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan's stomachs hurt from laughing. We're hungry, let's go eat chicken, Jin Lily stood up and said. Let's go eat Dong Yang, Zhang Chen said. What are you doing? Jin Lily asked. I have been sitting here thinking about coconut chicken for 2 hours. No, I must eat chicken today. Zhang Chen looked at Lu Ligan in embarrassment, and Lu Ligan said, let's eat sheep. The mutton and duck intestines are so delicious. Jin Lily looked at the two of them and asked, what are you doing? Is there anything special about eating chicken? It's not that famous. It's that place and it's not suitable for you to go, Lu Ligan said. Why? Say it quickly, Jin Lily became interested. Lu Ligan told Jin Lily about that place. Jin Lily became happy when he heard it. That's great. I must go here to see it today. It's so charming. Like this, from now on, I will it's ding dong, just go prostitute me. Jin Lily told Zhang Chen. After speaking, she frowned and shouted, no, how did you know about this place? Tell me honestly, which little sister took you there? Zhang Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He said, to be honest, a man took us there. I understand, Jin Lily said, it must be that second artilleryman who took you there, right? Wise, Lu Lepole raised his thumb again. You're wise, you gangsters haven't changed your nature, so you like to hang out with gangsters like this, Jin Lily scolded. We mainly want to save money. If someone is treating us, why not go? I don't care who invites us, Lu Ligan said. Jin Lily said, that's true, I will go if you ask me. The three of them did not ride motorcycles, but walked there. The road was not far anyway. When they passed the East Lake recruitment wall, they saw that this place was very different from the time Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan came a few days ago. The place was crowded again, and it was a lively scene, just like when they first arrived on the island. The three of them, after standing there for a while, Jin Lily was deeply moved. She said, I can't believe it. More than half a year ago, we were all crowded in this crowd and we all stinked. Well, half a year later, who would have thought that one of us would be a joint reporter from 6 media outlets, one would be a prostitute, and the other would be ding dong, Lu Ligan said. Zhang Chen laughed loudly, and Jin Lily was so angry that she kicked Lu Li's pole. When they arrived at the coconut chicken hot pot restaurant, Jin Lily looked around. It was as Lu Ligan and Zhang Chen said, it was a spectacular place, full of all kinds of prostitutes and ding-dongs. After sitting down and drinking a glass of cold beer, Jin Lily felt that her soul had returned. She ate another piece of chicken. It was indeed Hainan's southern delicacy. It was much better than the vulgar and stupid Beijing flavor in Beijing. Jin Lily saw people at the tables around them staring at them. They were probably all guessing, what kind of match were these two men and one woman? Jin Lily suddenly slammed the table, pointed at Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan and cursed, no, 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 I'm exhausted from you. The price will be increased tonight. Each of you must give me 1,000. Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan were stunned for a moment. They were shocked when they saw everyone around them. They both knew which song Jin Lily was singing. They couldn't help but lowered their heads and laughed. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 120. After dinner, Zhang Chen asked Lu Ligan to sit at Wenming East again. Lu Ligan said, don't be a light bulb anymore. Your reunion hasn't started yet, so I'll give you some space. Zhang Chen and Jin Lily held hands and walked back with their flip-flops. Although their stomachs were very full, when they passed a King Tonic store, they each bought a King Tonic and took them home to eat. In early March in Haikan, the temperature rises very quickly. During the day, it is 27 or 8 degrees Celsius. At night, it is also 22 or 3 degrees Celsius. It is the most comfortable temperature. From Boa South to Wenming East, There are small shops under the arcades on both sides of the street. The doors were also open, and the two of them walked and shopped. It took them nearly an hour to get home, which usually takes more than 10 minutes. Jiang Chen was afraid that the water was too cold, so he carried 2 hot water bottles to the bathroom for Jin Lily. Jin Lily came out after taking a shower. When it was Jiang Chen's turn, he naturally didn't use hot water. Heiken's tap water is not icy in the summer. Jiang Chen thought it was too warm, so he took a shower with tap water in winter. For Jiang Chen, the temperature was just right, not to mention it was already spring. After Jiang Chen took a shower, he returned to the room. Jin Lily was circling the antenna on the TV. When he saw Jiang Chen coming in, he cursed, "What a broken TV, there is not a single clear thing on it." Jiang Chen said, "It's not that the TV is broken, but that the signal is not good. I just listen to it like a radio." Jin Lily turned off the TV with a snap and said angrily, "I won't watch anymore. Jiang Chen, go get some water." Jiang Chen quickly took the wash basin out, went to the bathroom, and brought back a basin of water. He knew that Jin Lily was hinting to him that it was time for us to go to bed. As soon as Jiang Chen put the wash basin on the ground, Jin Lily turned off the light. It had been a long time since he came. The two of them were inevitably a little impatient and in a hurry. The first rush was over. However, they were not in a hurry. Today, they had a whole night. There is no need to count the time in your mind while working. Lu Lizu has already finished playing several billiards, and there is no need to worry that Lu Lizu is eavesdropping a few feet away. The two of them were lying there. In the darkness, Jin Lily was nestling on Jiang Chen's chest. The night was not deep yet, and the sounds around them were very complicated. They could hear the sounds of the market on Wenming East Road not far away, and they could hear the sound of the street. In a blacksmith's shop, someone was using a hammer, clanging, clanging, and banging on the tin. You could also hear a man and a woman arguing nearby. The female's voice was high-pitched, and the male's voice was trembling. Jin Lily murmured, "This is so good, it feels like returning to Yongcheng and our own home." Jiang Chen stroked Jin Lily's smooth back and felt a sense of stability. He also felt that this was really good. The door downstairs opened and then closed. They heard that Xiaolin and Kejin were back. They heard the 3 people breaking up at the bottom of the stairs. Xiaolin walked up the stairs, full of emotions, almost kicking them away with his feet. The door slammed against the wall, and they felt a slight tremor. Xiaolin went to take a shower. As he walked, he sang in his Drake voice. The song was Curved Moon by Chen Ruhia. Jin Lily had never met Xiaolin, but when she listened to his Cantonese accent, Jin Lily chuckled in the darkness. As soon as Xiaolin sang, Kejin and the others walked to the patio and started singing. Xiaolin simply leaned on the railing and sang with them. "What's the noise?" Gu Shufang's voice came from the 3rd floor. It was quiet, but it was enough to scare them. The singing of the 3 people immediately disappeared, and the people followed and rolled out of Gu Shufang's sight. "This old witch, doesn't she want to see others happy?" Jin Lily cursed in the darkness. Jiang Chen also thought so. He thought that Gu Shufang's world was in cold colors, and she must hope that the whole world was also in cold colors. "Humph, she still likes San Mao," Jin Lily snorted disdainfully. In her opinion, liking San Mao means liking sunshine and romantic wandering, and shouldn't be so gloomy. "Maybe there's something missing and I need to make up for it," Jiang Chen said. Jin Lily nodded, she thought so too. The surroundings gradually became quiet, but the sound could travel farther. Occasionally, an inexplicable cry sounded from a corner, and it quickly passed through the entire low roof. The two of them whispered, and gradually felt a tenderness filling their whole bodies, and they began to want to integrate into each other. Jiang Chen started to move, and Jin Lily also cooperated. This time they went slowly and methodically, and the two of them started to move. Very satisfied, Jin Lily got up, added some hot water to the basin, washed her lower body, and wiped it for Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen was too lazy to get up, so Jin Lily put on a round neck t-shirt from Jiang Chen. The t-shirt was very long. You can wear it as a nightgown for her. Jin Lily picked up the basin of water on the ground and was about to pour it out. Jiang Chen lay there and looked at her and said jokingly, "You are too diligent. Can't you pour it out tomorrow morning?" Jin Lily ignored her and thought, "What do you know, you think that everyone is as unhygienic as you." Jin Lily didn't turn on the light. It was a short walk from here to the bathroom, and Jin Lily was familiar with it after just one walk. Jin Lily opened the door and went out with the water. Jin Lily suddenly exclaimed "Ah," and the wash basin in her hand fell to the ground with a clang, water splashing all over her body. Jiang Chen heard Jin Lily's exclamation and got up from the bed as soon as he turned over. He couldn't find his clothes in the darkness. He pulled the fleece blanket on the bed, wrapped it around him, and ran to the door. "What's wrong, Lily?" Jiang Chen asked anxiously. Jin Lily stood at the door, trembling all over. In the darkness, she was so frightened that she could not speak. She pointed to the opposite side with her finger. Jiang Chen saw that there was a person on the stairs opposite, who was slowly going up step by step, as if he was worried about them. The movement here turned a deaf ear. Xiao Lin next door also heard the sound and ran into the corridor. He saw Jiang Chen and Jin Lily and was a little embarrassed. Jiang Chen quickly told him, it's okay, this is my girlfriend," and the water fell on the ground. Jiang Chen quickly pulled Jin Lily back to the room. Jiang Chen turned on the light. Jin Lily's face was pale and her whole body was wet. Jiang Chen quickly wiped her with a towel. Jin Lily's teeth were still chattering when she spoke. "I just opened the door, and she was standing there, a little far away from our door. She must be eavesdropping," Jin Lily said. Jiang Chen didn't know what to say, so he could only help Jin Lily wipe it silently. "Why is this like this person?" Jin Lily scolded and suddenly started crying. Jiang Chen quickly hugged her and comforted her, it's okay. Jin Lily became anxious and continued to cry, "It's okay, she has been eavesdropping all the time. She must have eavesdropped on everything we did. Don't be afraid, we didn't do anything." Jin Lily stamped her feet anxiously, "What do you mean you didn't do anything?" "Oh, this woman, she is eavesdropping on our sleep." Jiang Chen pressed Jin Lily down on the edge of the bed and said to her, "What's there to be afraid of? In the past, Zhangzi would sleep next to us every day." Jin Lily glared at him and cursed, "Is this the same? Can this be the same? Zhangzi and Zhen are both our own people, can this be the same? Jiang Chen, let me ask you, if Zhen comes too, when we started, did we still rent a room, and they lived there and we lived here, would you feel anything was wrong?" "Of course not. The truth is outside and not everyone sleeps in the same room," Jiang Chen said. "Then let me ask you, if this old witch was lying over there, would you feel sick?" Jin Lily asked. Jiang Chen was stunned for a moment and said, "It's really different." "It is," Jin Lily shouted. Jin Lily was wearing her own clothes one by one. Jiang Chen was surprised and asked, "What are you doing?" Jin Lily kept shaking her head, No, I'm going to vomit. I can't stay here, not even for a minute." Jiang Chen was shocked. He quickly put on his own clothes one by one. Jin Lily got dressed, stood up and walked outside. Jiang Chen quickly followed. Jin Lily opened the door and saw the puddle of water and the wash basin in the corridor. She was very angry and kicked her hard. The wash basin was in the corridor and rolled far away. Jin Lily quickly walked downstairs, Jiang Chen quickly closed the door and followed. The two of them walked outside, passed through the alley, and reached Wenming East Road. Jin Lily stopped and let out a long sigh. Jiang Chen took Jin Lily's hand with his hand, and Jin Lily shook his hand away. The two walked forward in silence. They walked on Wenming East Road, Boa South Road, and then on Hixia Road. When we arrived at Wanghai Mall was closed, but it was more lively late at night than during the day. The sidewalks and open spaces on the roadside were filled with stalls selling clothes, various gadgets, and food, as well as several food stalls interspersed among them. Both of them were tired from walking, so Zhang Chen and Jin Lily said, "Let's go back." Jin Lily shook her head, and she wouldn't go back even if she killed me. Zhang Chen was anxious, "Then where are we going?" Jin Lily said fiercely, "I would rather stay like this until dawn." Zhang Chen sighed. They had already reached the door of Guo's hang. Zhang Chen said, "Alternatively, let's stay in a hotel." Jin Lily stopped, thought for a while, and then walked towards the door of Guo's hang.